I never thought my father would arrange a blind date for me like some kind of corporate merger. I threw a spectacular tantrum at home when he first mentioned it. Then he calmly dropped the real bombshell. The man I was supposed to meet was the boss of my favorite idol's company. My attitude flipped in less than 3 seconds. He described the man as tall, dignified, well-mannered, successful. I muttered that maybe, just maybe, it wouldn't hurt to at least go see him. And then came the killer condition. If this marriage actually happened, after my idol's contract expired, my father would bring him to our company. I immediately asked what time tomorrow night. 8 o'clock. I'd be there. Early even. My father had built Skystar Entertainment from nothing over nearly 20 years. The company was legendary in the industry. They had launched countless stars. And yet the one person I was obsessed with belonged to another company, Story Entertainment. Story had only entered the entertainment industry in recent years. Their hottest act right now was the boy group Fly, and the leader, the one I had stanned religiously for 5 full years, was the brightest star in my sky. 5 years. I had become one of the biggest fans online, with over 100,000 followers. Like everyone else in the fandom, I spent years cursing Story Entertainment's CEO for treating our captain like trash. 5 years since debut, and he barely got any solo schedules. His group mates had already become variety regulars and drama leads, while he was lucky to get one measly reality show a year. A year ago, the CEO's youngest son took over Story Entertainment. The target of our hatred simply changed names. We knew almost nothing about this young master. No photos, no scandals, no traces. But we collectively decided he must be just as awful as his father. I desperately wanted my idol to come to Skystar. I wanted him to walk the flower path he deserved. Saturday night, 8 o'clock. My entire family showed up at the private room in the five-star hotel Story owned. It felt more like a business alliance negotiation than a blind date. I kept my mouth shut. My idol's future was in my hands. I could endure one awkward dinner. The moment we opened the door, I felt the shift. The Sterling family was out in full force. Father, mother, grandmother, even the eldest brother. The groom-to-be hadn't arrived yet, but the parents were already chatting happily about old times. It turned out that many years ago, when Skystar was on the verge of bankruptcy, it was Story Group that quietly extended the helping hand. My stomach sank. My father had planned this for a long time. Still, as long as I said no, no one could force me. 5 minutes later, he walked in. Sorry I'm late. Company matters ran long. I mentally rolled my eyes. What company matters? My idol was probably at home picking at his toenails while you worked. Then he greeted my parents politely, turned to me, and extended his right hand. Hello, I'm Damian Sterling. The moment that face came into view, something inside me short-circuited. Cold, sharp, devastatingly handsome. The kind of looks that could easily crush every artist in his company. Except my idol, of course. I placed my hand in his. His palm was cool, steady. Hello, I'm Sadie Gong. The dinner was torture. I kept stealing glances at him. I didn't want to. I just couldn't help it. The parents were getting along like old friends. The grandmother kept holding my hand, asking about my life, my hobbies, my dreams, her eyes shining with unmistakable affection. Then she said the sentence that almost made me choke. I think in a few years, I'll be holding my great-grandson. Great-grandson? We haven't even decided whether we're getting married. I barely ate anything. As we said goodbye, my parents suddenly announced they had something to handle and asked Damien to drive me home. I grabbed my mother's arm and hissed, "It's late." What could you possibly have to do? My father pulled my mother away with a cheerful smile. Damien, we'll leave Sadie in your hands. I sat in the passenger seat of his Maybach, arms crossed, radiating displeasure. The car didn't move for a long time. He finally spoke, voice low. Are you still hungry? You barely touched anything tonight. Of course I was hungry. A wicked idea bloomed. I was going to destroy the good ladylike daughter image I had maintained in front of the parents. I would make him dislike me. I would make him reject this marriage. I want burgers. He started the car without hesitation. At the drive-in, I ordered an obscene amount of fried food. I ate like a wild animal. I slurped my Coke loudly and let out an exaggerated burp. I waited for the disgust. Instead, he looked at me seriously. I know you don't want to marry a stranger, but my grandmother, her health hasn't been good recently. This is her biggest wish. She really likes you. So, could you please at least consider it? Playing the family card? Really? Then he continued. After marriage, I promise I won't interfere with your life. You can do whatever you want. I won't restrict you. Any request you have, I'll try my best to fulfill it. We can negotiate the conditions slowly. I seized the opportunity. I want to work at Story Entertainment. And for the next year, all of my idol schedules must be arranged by me. For the first time, surprise actually flickered across that cold, perfect face. Okay, I agree. I almost couldn't hide my grin. So will you marry me? In the middle of a burger joint, with grease still on my lips, Damian Sterling proposed. He walked to the car, came back, and knelt in front of me. He opened a velvet box. A Cartier ring sparkled under the fluorescent lights. Sadie, will you marry me? His ears were bright red. I snapped the box shut, dragged him back to the car, and muttered, "This is so embarrassing." He looked anxious. I thought, you said it was too casual because there was no ring. You bought this a week ago? Yeah, after your parents first mentioned you. So my parents had been scheming for a week while I knew nothing. He asked carefully, do you want me to plan a better proposal? I sighed. No need. Just do it here. He looked at the ring, then at me. His ears turned even redder. And somehow, he looked a little cute. I teased, what? Now you don't want to? I do. I want to. He turned toward me, eyes bright and earnest. Sadie, marry me. I looked into those eyes and felt my heart stutter. Okay. He slid the ring onto my finger with trembling fingers. A week later, we quietly got our marriage certificate. I said I preferred low-key, no wedding ceremony. So he booked a private dinner at his family's hotel. I chose a small guest list. I figured if we divorced in 2 years, it would be easier to clean up. After the dinner, my parents practically shoved me into Damian's private villa. He had already prepared a bedroom for me, right next to the master. The next morning I asked, what position are you giving me at the company? Artist manager assistant? No thanks. Deputy general manager? Too high. People will talk. Then be my personal secretary. You can stay in my office all day. The following day, I entered Story Entertainment as Mr. Sterling's new personal secretary. No one knew we were married. At the company, I called him Mr. Sterling. At home, I called him Damian. And he called me baby girl. My first mission: give my idol 2 major variety shows. One high-profile campus drama male lead opposite a current A-list actress. The former manager was furious. Why is he suddenly getting so many solo projects? The group has a comeback this month. Busy schedules are good, I said sweetly. He hasn't had opportunities for years. It's time. This is Mr. Sterling's decision. She still looked suspicious. I added, the drama role suits him better than Ricky. Mr. Sterling agrees. During the weekly meeting, I sat beside Damian, pretending to take notes while actually staring at my idol the entire time. When his new schedule was announced, his eyes lit up with genuine surprise and joy. My heart felt full. My baby is finally walking the flower path. After the meeting, I secretly told my idol I had been his fan for 5 years. That I joined Story just for him. That if he ever suffered any injustice, he could come to me. He was so moved he almost cried, holding my hand. Thank you, Sadie. I will work hard. I won't let you down. So pure. So lovely. I could barely contain myself. But later, in the pantry, I overheard the manager and 2 assistants gossiping. Look at her attitude. Must be sleeping with someone high up. She's pretty, but to be with Mr. Sterling? Dream on. Maybe she's the old chairman's mistress. I walked in, filled my cup, and said calmly, you know I'm a connection. So unless you want to lose your jobs, watch your mouths and do your actual work. They froze. I left them with a cold glance. Back in the office, I slammed the cup on Damien's desk, water splashing. Do you think I'm worthy of you? He startled. What? Your employees think I'm climbing your social ladder. Who said that? I'll handle it. No need. Already handled. I leaned closer. Am I pretty? Very. Pretty enough for you? More than enough, baby girl. His serious, possessive gaze made me laugh. My anger evaporated. For the first few weeks, I barely went home, too busy chasing my idol with my friends. One evening, I came home early. The housekeeper was surprised. Finally cooking for two tonight. I asked what Damien usually liked to eat. Then I made pasta, packed it, and drove to the company at 8 p.m. He was still buried in documents. He looked shocked when I walked in with the container. You didn't go out with friends tonight? No. Came to feed my husband. His ears turned pink again. You don't have to. I want to. He ate like it was the best thing he'd ever tasted. Baby girl, can you make this for me again? Sure. But at the company, I'm Ms. Gong. Remember? Understood, Ms. Gong. He smiled so gently I almost forgot he was the cold CEO everyone feared. I glanced at the clock. What time do you usually leave? Around midnight. Midnight? Your grandma told me your stomach is weak. From now on, you come home for dinner. No negotiation. He looked stunned, then obediently nodded. Yes, wife. The next day was Saturday. I planned to go watch my idol's photo shoot with my bestie. Damien, hair messy from sleep, stopped me at the door. Where are you going? To see work. You said you'd stay home with me today. I'll just take a look. I'll be back soon. He hummed low, the air suddenly heavy. As I changed shoes, he said quietly behind me, Baby girl, you look beautiful today. My heart skipped. He added softly, be safe. Come back early. All the way there, I kept replaying his words. Was he jealous? No way, right? This marriage was supposed to be emotionless. But maybe, just maybe, he was trying to make it real. Then I rear-ended someone. The man got out screaming, pointing at my nose. I apologized desperately, sent Damien my location with one sentence. Come save me. 10 minutes later, Damien's black Maybach screeched to a stop. He ran to me, pulled me into his arms. Baby girl, are you hurt? The dam broke. I started crying. He handled everything. Coldly told the man he'd pay double if he shut up, then took me home. In the bedroom, tears still falling, I clung to him. He held me gently, stroking my hair. From now on, wherever you go, I drive you. Okay. I buried my face in his neck. That night, I almost asked him, are you falling for me? But I didn't dare. Weeks later, I followed the drama set every day. My idol grew comfortable with me, calling me Sadijia, sharing stories from his trainee days. Every night, I came home smiling like an idiot. Damien finally asked, what exactly do you do on set that makes you so happy every day? Work, of course. Is work really that fun? I decided to test him. Being around him all day, of course I'm happy. We talk a lot. Getting closer. I really like spending time with him. Damien's expression darkened. He took a sip of coffee. I see. Then he went to the study. We didn't speak again that night. The next day, after filming, my idol suggested I go home early. I refused. I wasn't ready to face Damien yet. Around 10, he texted. Still working? Yeah, lots of scenes today. It'll be late. I'll come get you. No need. Almost done. Come home soon. Be safe. Later, the crew invited me to Hot Pot. I didn't want to refuse. I let the driver leave. Too much alcohol. The assistant director slid closer. I'll drive you home later. It's not safe alone. His hand touched my thigh. I jerked away. My idol immediately intervened. No need, director. I can take her. The man was drunk, persistent, whispering disgusting things. My phone lit up, multiple missed calls from Damien. I answered. The hand landed on my thigh again. I shot up. Director Lee is harassing me. Everyone froze. The director started yelling that I was lying. Then the door slammed open. Damien stormed in, eyes terrifyingly cold. He went straight to me, cradled my face. Where are you hurt? Nowhere. He turned to the director. A fist connected with the man's face. Hard. The director fell. Before he could stand, another punch. The main director tried to stop him. Mr. Sterling, this will cause trouble. Damien grabbed the man's collar. Pack your things tomorrow and get out of my crew. I pulled his arm. Enough. Let's go home. In the car, he let me sleep against his shoulder. When I woke, I was already in bed. Head pounding. He touched my forehead gently. Headache. Yeah. How much did you drink? I looked at him, brain fuzzy from alcohol and emotion. I wrapped my arms around his neck, pulling him close. Do you like me? He froze. You're drunk, baby girl. I cupped his face. Tell me the truth. Warm breath fanned my lips. I do. I really like you. I kissed him. The night was filled with whispered confessions, tangled limbs, and the kind of heat that promised more. The next morning, I woke in his arms, clothes intact. He smirked. Alcohol really is a wonderful thing. After that, everything changed. He started visiting the set frequently. People began whispering that we were together. Until the day he saw my old tweets. I had left my laptop open. Hundreds of tweets cursing Story Entertainment, cursing him, cursing the managers, all to defend my idol. He held up his phone, showing an old post. You really hated me that much? I laughed awkwardly. It was before. Then the paparazzi video dropped. Me smiling brilliantly beside my idol. And in one frame, Damien standing in the background, expression unreadable. The internet exploded. My old tweets were dug up. I was called a scheming mistress, a backstabber, accused of using my idol. Damien made my idol post a clarification. It didn't help. The attacks grew worse. Finally, he asked me quietly, do you want to go public? I nodded. He posted from the official company account. I am Damien Sterling, chairman of Story Entertainment. This is my wife. At Sadie Gong. Attached our marriage certificate. The comments flipped instantly. Wait, she's the boss lady? No wonder his resources skyrocketed. They look good together, actually. The storm passed. We suddenly had CP fans. One night, curled up in bed scrolling comments, he read one aloud in a deliberately whiny tone. Some people are shipping the age gap CP from the PAP video. Anyone else? Then he looked at me, eyes mischievous. So, who do you love more? Me or him? I laughed. Don't be ridiculous. He's my idol. You're my husband. He pulled me closer, voice dropping to that dangerous, possessive register. Good girl. Remember that. He kissed my temple. You're mine, baby girl. Every breath. Every smile. Mine to keep. Mine to ruin. Mine forever. And for the first time, I didn't mind at all.